Hey Sean, thanks for sending me your swim video for analysis. I apologize if I said your name wrong. Anyways, you were right. When you sent me the email, you had commented that you've been swimming for 6 months now. Your pace is between 220 and 225 per 100 meter. Your average stroke rate is 28. And actually that gets more when you don't have such a nice push off of the wall and kicking so much. So right off the bat, I just want to make the comment that the major thing about your stroke and the reason your stroke rate is so high is you're not completing the stroke past your hip. So when I say that, first thing I noticed is you're cutting your stroke out short right here, and you're going to get a lot more distance per stroke just by pulling all the way past your hip, scrape your thigh. So that's if you don't do anything else but extend your stroke past your hip and scrape your thigh between your probably between your hip and your knee, that's how much further extension I want you to do behind you. Again, the key is extending from behind. You will take less strokes. You will grab more water with each arm stroke, and you will go further, and it will be less effort. Because right now you're kind of spinning your wheels, so to speak, like you'd be spinning your wheels on the bike, and you're wasting a lot of energy by taking so many strokes just because you're not extending from behind. So let's backtrack. I already mentioned the stroke count, since you kind of had an idea of that. You know, that if you ever know what a SWAL score is, it's taking your stroke count per 25 and adding it to your time. That's a certain score. And we want to try to get that score under 50. And we want to try to do that right now, first by taking less strokes. And then in turn, by taking less strokes, you should go faster with less effort. So that's the idea of getting that stroke count and your time down. So let's backtrack. Let's talk about breathing, body balance, rotation. Looks pretty good, and as well as the kick. So I'm stopping and pausing the video at various aspects of the stroke. I look at breathing, body balance, rotation. You have rotation because you're bilateral breathing, so you are rotating because you're breathing to both sides. But I want you to know what drives the rotation is that catch and that push all the way behind you. High elbow catch, push all the way behind you. That's what's driving your rotation. So that's why the pull is so important. What is driving the extension out in front of you is your rotation helps drive your extension. You have an extension, but you're reaching with your shoulder and you're very flat and shallow. So I'll talk about that in a second. So breathing actually looks fine. Body balance, rotation. You know, you're kicking. I don't know how effective your kick is right now. Just want to point out you should be kicking from the quad and hip flexor. Keep your toes a little bit more pointed. And for the most part, don't really focus on your kick except for not kicking, because again, I think that's using a lot of energy and could be causing some breathlessness. So let's move on to the 3 main phases of the stroke. The recovery, what's going on out of the water. I want you to think about dragging your fingertips, do the fingertip drag drill. And as you're doing that, you're rotating, so you're leading with your elbow, and that's going to set you up for a nice hand entry. Hand entry meaning fingertips below the wrist, below the elbow. You want your fingertips below the wrist, below the elbow out of the water, and then when you enter, you want your fingertips below the wrist, below the elbow, and you want to enter on an angle and use your hip rotation to help extend your arm deeper out in front of you so you can set you out for a good catch and a push. So besides fingertip drag drill, that's probably going to help you the most. Your recovery is not too bad. Is to get rid of this reach in this kind of hand position where you're stopping yourself and flattening out your hand. I'm going to have you do some punch drill as well as some head out of the water drill. Those are specific to hand entry, but they're also going to help you create a high elbow catch and a push all the way past your hip. So again, really, I think simple changes that are going to go a long way for you. Fingertip drag drill, fist drill, head out of the water drill, and just really being mindful of getting a catch and a push past your hip down the center of the line, which from looking at your video, it appears that you are pulling center for the most part. And like I said, these small little changes, you're going to see big gains. So I'm really excited to track your progress. And if you haven't already, make sure you join our T2 Endurance Facebook group for more accountability and support. And reach out to me with any questions, comments, or concerns that you may have. Make it a great day.